Hello, everyone. Just give us a minute. To start to okay. So we are back. questions.
The 16th of June, since that is the annual day, the celebrations are done. Welcome once again, and thank you very much for attending this launch. You know, it's a special launch instituted by the COVID dictates. I wish to acknowledge the resilience of our fellow Kenyans and most of the children of Kenya at this difficult time which we are in. I therefore wish to take this opportunity to welcome the Chair of the National Council of Children's Services, Honorable Joyce Umuki. The National Council of Children's Services is coordinating this activity and is tasked with the coordination, affairs, as well as the oversight activity of children activities and children's services. And that is why I wish to call our chair to talk more on the day and its organization. Welcome, Chair.
Some of our partners members of the Kobe State, I greet you all. And I want to say that I'm very delighted today as we honor the Day of the African Child. And I want to say that this day we started celebrating in Kenya in 1981 and has since become an annual event. And at this particular day, today, this year, we've held it in a special way because of the challenge that we have of COVID-19. That is why we are celebrating it indoors. It hasn't been like this. We've always been going out to celebrate and even to launch together with the children. But all in all, it is a great day for us and a day of importance since we have the chance to reflect on what has been done in matters of safeguarding our children's rights and their welfare. And we cannot fail to pass the message to the country, the need to continue safeguarding our children's rights. And the theme for this year is access to a child-friendly justice system in Africa. a very critical and important theme. As it opens, it's a theme that is opening a chance to revise or even to look at our judiciary and the justice system that is given to our children. And there are very many issues that need to be addressed. Therefore, this theme gives us a chance to alert the judiciary to be more sensitive on how children issues are handled in courts and even how their cases are handled. There are many areas that need improvement as far as the issues of children are concerned, like for matters of time taken to handle cases that are reported by children, and how available that the judiciary could be to reach our children, and the privacy and protection of children once they have to report their cases. Therefore, I want to say we have a very crucial theme this year that needs to alert our judiciary to do more for our children. And to say the council, that's National Council for Children Services, is very committed to its work and to ensure that service delivery is done as far as children rights are concerned across the country. And I will call upon any other agencies and our partners who have always been with us that we continue joining hands in holding our children, fighting for their rights, and especially at this particular time of COVID, when we have very many challenges. Let's continue doing more to our children to make sure that they're protected, especially those on the streets, those that are in children homes, that are actually protected from the infection of COVID. And where we can, to our partners, we chip in even in matters of food, for we realize that the families are quite straining. And since we'll have a speech from the PS, I know the director will read the speech from the PS. I will end there. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you, Chair. Lady Justice Mother Kome, who is the chairperson of the National Council of Administration of Justice, Special Task Force on Children Matters, was supposed to be with us, but she could not make it. However, I wish to make remarks on behalf of her. I thank the Honorable Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Labor and Social Protection for this opportunity to be part of the team that launched the Day of the African Child. This day is special because we commemorate children who are bold enough to stand up for the rights at a time when oppression of minorities was a norm. Children lost their lives because of this, and we honor them and condemn to this day handling children without consideration of their vulnerable status in the society. Every child is special. Every child makes a difference in the world. We all evidence of this because we were all once children. This is why all actors handling children recognize why it's so important to ensure promotion of child rights. Children find themselves in the justice system in many ways. It could be as victims of offenses, as child witnesses, as child in need of care and protection, or as children in conflict with the law. The child justice system is a network of stakeholders, including community, the police, the Department of Children Services, the judiciary, probation and aftercare services, and prisons. These agencies, including numerous other state and non-state agencies such as the Law Society of Kenya, the Kenya National Commission of Human Rights, are mandated to ensure that justice is accorded to children and that their rights are upheld. The Chief Justice gazetted the National Council of Administration of Justice to coordinate the stakeholders to ensure that all agencies dealing with children in the justice system have a synergy, because there was a broken chain link which causes many injustices. The National Council of Administration of Justice Special Task Force on Children Matters is proud to say that we launched a report due the status report on children in the justice system in Kenya last year in November 2019, as we celebrated the 30th CRC celebrations also. The report outlined the Big Seven, call for action recommendations from its findings, from service weeks, quality of care and infrastructure survey, and data collection. The first call was to enact the Children's Bill, that is, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, was keen to ensure it was enacted by this year. The Children Act has not been aligned to the Constitution of Kenya 2010. This is a discouraging precedent for children in Kenya. We need this law to be enacted immediately. We call on the members of parliament also to prioritize our children. The world is facing unprecedented state of COVID-19 pandemic. This has changed the way of life. The justice system is no exception. The courts have now changed their mode of thinking from physical to virtual. Both children and stakeholders need to be trained to ensure that they understand how to operate in this way. The courts handling children matters have faced challenges in transitioning because we are confident that the growth we have from the court users show that there is a growing grasp in handling matters in this way. We call on to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to roll out provision of recording devices from the victims of sexual and gender-based abuse to ensure that evidence is collected in good time, and when the victim has a fresh memory of the incidents. This will also ensure that they do not have to leave their homes or to be subjected to memory of the heinous acts by testifying over again. We call on the Department of Children's Services to ensure that children going through the system are sensitized about COVID-19 pandemic and how to protect themselves from it. We also request that more message on child-friendly justice be circulated to homes and communities, highlighting contacts that the households can use to report cases of child abuse and neglect. We call on the judiciary to have a child-friendly pamphlet to explain what the child justice system is to children. We also call on this arm of government to ensure that children are briefed and trained on how virtual courts work. We call on the Kenya Prison Service to ensure that children accompanying mothers are protected from the pandemic. All children accompanying mothers should have protection and care forms filled in so that the court and the children officers can monitor their progress after integration. We also hope that each child being reintegrated shall be taken to a safe home where each person has been declared free from the virus. Children should never go through court process without legal representation. Advocates in Kenya should rise up to ensure that each child in the country has a lawyer with them through it all. It's not easy for children to understand the charge or proceedings. We call on the Law Society of Kenya to commit to ensure that all children have an advocate in all cases. We call on the media to continue covering and raising awareness of children cases in the country for justice to be done. We condemn any acts contrary to promotion of the best interests of the child and those that limit any right of the child. We cannot forget to include children with disabilities. We hope that children with disabilities can be catered to in terms of the infrastructure and quality of care in every institution handling children. This is very important so that we can live a life not hampered by hardship when interacting. Child-friendly justice system means that children are treated as vulnerable group and in a manner that they can understand the environment when having their rights promoted, including the right to be heard, which is a natural right. Let's all work to understand what child-friendly justice means in the coming days. Let us ensure that we achieve child-friendly justice in all courts and institutions, even as we face the pandemic. Thank you all, and I thank you for your interest in children and your commitment in children even during this hard time. I now wish to call on our chief guest today, Director Children's Services, Director Noah David. Welcome.
Our children, and the caregivers, take care of our children, the chairperson of the National Council for Children's Services present, Honorable Dr. Job Bugi, the acting CEO of National Council for Children's Services, representative of NCAJ Special Task Force on Children, the media who are present with us, the Department of Children's Services staff who are present with us here. Good morning. Today, the chief guest is actually the Principal Secretary, State Department for Social Protection, Mr. Nelson Maro, who could not be able to be with us because of other duties, government duties. So he has delegated that to me to read the speech on his behalf. Before I read his speech, as a Director of Children's Services, I'd like to mention that as a department which is tasked by the Children's Act to promote the rights and welfare of children, we have done quite a number of interventions which are geared towards making children child-friendly in terms of access to justice. I'll just mention a few. Recently, together with our stakeholders, we developed some guidelines, messages to guide children during this time of COVID. And that information, those messages are already in all the county children's officers who are in all the 47 counties. And also about almost 290 sub-county where we have children officers present. And this information is already there in the ground. The children officers are using it together with our stakeholders to sensitize children on how to handle themselves during this time of COVID-19. As a department, we run statutory children institutions, which are about 30 of them. And these are rehabilitation schools, remand homes, that is children's remand homes, and rescue centers. This is where children who are in conflict with the law are being rehabilitated. And this day, really, we're going to focus on their rights as children in those institutions. As a department also, we run a toll-free line 116, which we call it a helpline. And this gives children a service to be able to report on what is happening to them. And this, we believe as a department, it has enabled our children to access justice, to be able to report, and then various interventions are handled from them. As a department also, we coordinate the Kenya Children Assembly. And this Kenya Children Assembly is all operational in all the 47 counties, being coordinated by our county children's coordinators in the counties. And we give opportunities for our children to be able to elect themselves as officials. We have governors, we have secretaries in those counties, and they plan their own activities as children. And most of the things that I have just mentioned above, some of the interventions that as a department we are handling has come from those children assemblies being run by the children. They make those proposals and we have tried to incorporate some of those interventions into policy guidelines. And from there, we are now able to say, as a department, we are able to work together with all the stakeholders, being guided by National Council for Children's Services, to be able to access, to be able to have children access justice in a more organized and child-friendly manner. With those remarks, then I go straight to read the speech of our chief guest, Mr. Nelson Marwa, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Social Protection, the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection. Our children, fellow Kenyans, I'm delighted to join you today as we launch the celebrations of the Day of the African Child this year. The day has its roots in the anti-colonial struggle against oppression and injustice in South Africa, particularly the struggle for quality education by children during the apartheid period in Soweto. It has evolved to embrace and focus on the diverse child rights violations and their underlying causes all over Africa. This day gives us an opportunity to take stock of what we have done for our children and reflect on what more needs to be done to ensure that they fully enjoy their rights. The Day of the African Child was first celebrated in Kenya in June 1991 and has since become an annual event celebrated not only nationally, but in all the counties and sub-counties in the country. This year's celebrations will vary slightly from the ones we have held previously because of COVID-19 pandemic that has forced us to adopt new ways of doing things as guided by His Excellency the President and the Minister of Health protocols on COVID-19. This year, the day is being commemorated under the theme, Access to a Child-Friendly Justice System in Africa. This theme underscores the importance of a justice system that guarantees children dignified, expeditious, and fair processes of justice. As a country, we take cognizance of the fact that access to justice is a fundamental right and a foundation for the promotion of all other human rights. As such, the government has put in place measures to ensure that justice system is as much as possible accessible and friendly to children. Kenya has been forefront in the domestication of international and regional instruments with their provisions given to effect in Article 2 of our Constitution. Kenya is a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child and the African Charter and Welfare on the Rights of the Child, among other international and regional legal instruments on the rights and welfare of the child. Similarly, the Children's Act 2001 entrusts various bodies and actors with the responsibility of securing the various bodies and actors the said rights and provision of welfare and correctional services. The Act also outlines in detail how children in need of care and protection and those who are in contact with the law should be handled and sets the timelines for which this should be done. It's also worth to note that the government is in the process of developing a new statute for children that is not only fully aligned with the provisions of the Constitution, but also addresses emerging issues in the children's sector. There are other laws, regulations, policies, and guidelines that are also in place on the provisions of the Constitution and the Children Act in regards to child justice. They include the Penal Code, the Criminal Procedure Code, among others. The responsibility of dispensing children's justice in Kenya is undertaken by various institutions that work interdependently. They include the Kenya Police Service, Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Judiciary, Prison Service, Probation and Aftercare Services, and the Department of Children Services. To ensure proper coordination of service delivery, including child justice to the children of Kenya, the government in 2002 established national policy was also established in 2011 to ensure coordination in the administration of justice and to oversee reforms in the justice system. We acknowledge the work of every institution in the child justice system, and especially during this time when we are battling COVID-19. We appreciate the innovative ideas that these institutions have adopted to ensure that they remain operational. Children's justice, like other spheres of child welfare, requires collaborative efforts, and we recognize all the non-governmental agencies that have stepped in to boost the efforts of the government. We appreciate organizations that continue to support and popularize the toll-free child helpline 116 that provides children with a safe avenue for reporting child rights violations. Legal practitioners who provide pro bono legal services to children in the justice system. Organizations that provide rescue and rehabilitation services, as well as those that offer psychosocial support. We realize that there are still many challenges that embed the full realization of justice. The commemoration of this day, therefore, gives us yet another opportunity to consolidate efforts towards overcoming these challenges. In conclusion, allow me to take this opportunity to thank all those working for children and urge them to continue their commitment and the resolve towards ensuring that children of this nation get their rights in the fullest, even in the unprecedented times of COVID-19 pandemic. I now declare 2020 celebrations of the Day of the African Child officially launched.
Thank you everybody, and thank you all. I think once we have launched our day, there may be no other business to continue. And once again, thank you very much.
Some of the challenges
The major ones are we have the cultural practices which are really affecting our children. That is the FGM. And also there is another emerging issue we are seeing child breeding, where children are, I don't know how to call it, but there are several, they use very sharp objects to be used in marking children. And for us, as child practitioners, we feel that it is not right to a child because it's really a permanent mark to the children. The other thing that we are having a major emerging issue is children who are being taught on things which they don't need to know. Like the other day, it was happening in the coast. I don't know how to call it, where young children are being taught on trying to get the correct term. So we feel that it is not right for the young children to be taught on things which are beyond their age. We have also emerging issues where we have child abuse, especially where parents are beating their children. It has been reported by the Fourth Estate in some of the defilement cases involving children. Those are some of the things that I will be able to pinpoint. Maybe my other colleagues can add some of them. But all those ones that are mentioned through the NCCS and the area advisory councils in the various counties where my officers are coordinating the area, we call them area advisory councils. They have already started working on them with the various stakeholders where the issues of the children affected are being handled.
Thank you, Director. And if I may add to some of the challenges actually facing the justice system in children, there are still some traditional practice of resolving children matters, which disadvantage the children. Also, as you may be aware, the distance from the courts in some cases is far, and not all children are able to access easily and fastly children courts where the issues are resolved. And also there are cases of many cases of children rights violations which we feel are not reported and will not come to the fore. In terms also of facilities, physical facilities that provide for justice system for children, especially like children who accompany their mothers in prisons or something like that, we feel we need to improve. So that we feel there are still challenges in the children's sector, which we need to improve on, and the initiatives are there to make sure that improvements are done. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone who is joining us online on Facebook, YouTube, and Zoom. I can see all the 100 of you. Thank you so much. So Mr. Sanganyi is available for the next 5 minutes. I'm going to take the first 5 hands up. So for those ones, the first 5 hands up, I'm going to take up your questions. I can see 2 hands up already. Oh, wow. Okay, I can see like there's a child. I'm starting with children. So if you're not a child, I am starting with children. So just give her. Yeah, I can see all the children. When a director, we have a number of children. How many should I give?
5 of them.
5 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric, you have to be really loud because you're in a big room and you ask your question. Eric.
I would
And you
like
can
to
switch
ask.
on your camera.
Yes,
Switch on your camera,
I would
but you
like,
have to be loud.
I have switched it off.
Okay, go on, Eric.
I would like to ask. They have said that there was an apartheid that happened in South Africa. Could you please explain which year on and which time?
Okay, which year did the 1976? The year when the Day of the African Child. Why do we commemorate? What happened on that year? Okay, thank you so much, Eric. Tracy? Tracy? Tracy, are you there?
Hello? Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
go
here.
on, Tracy. Okay, ask your question.
Can we speak to the Chief Justice about the justice of children?
Is that Chief Justice is not here? We have the Director of Children's Services. You can ask him a question.
Okay. You can move on, I'll ask later.
Okay, Tanya? Tanya, go ahead.
Yes, my question is, what happens when there's a group of children that are said to have committed a crime, where we have children and there are, let's say, people who are above 18 who are in it? So how are these children going to be treated? Are they going to be treated the same way as the others are going to be treated, or are they going to be put in different places, yet the crime is the same?
Okay, when I director, you got that one. So you got that one as as the other ones. Okay, Tanya, go ahead. Or you had already asked. Okay, go. So I get the other ones.
Okay, for Eric, the year during the apartheid, children were denied access to education, and there were riots in that country, and the people who were actually who suffered most were children. That is why the African Union decided this particular day, 16th of every 16th June, then it should be commemorated in remembrance for the fights of those children, and through their fight that in South Africa, education became child-friendly. For Tanya, children do not commit a crime, it's an offense. And if there is mixed with adults, we have statutory institutions where children below 18 years are the ones I mentioned that are in the Department of Children's Services. We call them rehabilitation. Children rehabilitation schools. Formerly, they used to be called approved schools. That is where they are kept for them to be rehabilitated. But first of all, they go to the children remand homes. And these are totally separate from adult remand homes. I hope I've tried to answer the two for Eric and Tanya.
Okay, Billy, you have 1 minute to ask your question. Billy. And Billy, are you there? I'd seen your hand up. Okay, go on.
Okay, my question is.
Okay, Billy, you have to mute one of your gadgets because we can hear a lot of feedback.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, my question is, can we get an opportunity to give a speech according to how we have attended the Day of African Child?
Can they be given an opportunity to give a speech? Okay. And then let me see, Shamari. 1 minute. Shamari.
Okay.
Your question?
I wanted to ask, when was
Yes.
is this the first year that it happened, like the launch of the Day of the African Child 2020?
No,
Is it
no, no.
like the
They
first
will answer that question. Okay. And then there is, I don't know, I know it's a child, but I need to read her full name, from Kara Girls Rescue Center. There's a girl from Kara Girls Rescue Center. Are you able to ask?
It's not a, apologies, it's not a child, but it is a girls rescue center.
Okay.
Mine is just to commend the
Okay.
justice system, especially because previously we were working with Kibera and then later Milimani, and now we have Ngong Law Courts. And we have experienced friendly prosecutors, and we have also experienced privacy where the children are taken to their chambers. My concern is the speed of handling children matters, especially where the government is recommending children to be taken back home and advocating for integration. So I would just request the department maybe to make a plea to the justice system so that we could have speed while handling children matters, so that at least they can be quickly exited. My name is Edwina Kwala from Kajiado County.
Thank you so much, Edwina. Zachary, are you a child?
No.
Okay, then you can't answer. We are just being given time for children. So they're just answering children questions for now. And then probably if they have time, they can do the adults one. So Mr. Bona Director.
For Billy, you asked whether you can be given a chance to have a speech during the Day of the African Child. Indeed, every year we are having child guests to sit with the chief guest who give a speech. And this is, we select the child's guest from the 47 counties who are handling the day of, the children assemblies. So every year, this is what is happening, except this particular year. Tamara, is this the first day that we are launching? No, we have been launching this since 1991. And every year, we do the launch of the Day of the African Child. There will be the main day on 16th of this month. From Kara Girls Rescue Center, we are working very closely with the judiciary in ensuring children who are in conflict with the law, their cases are handled with a lot of speed. And for sure, I can confirm to you that over this period of COVID, there have been a lot of Zoom meetings, Zoom cases in our remand homes, children's remand homes, where children who are in conflict with the law, through the judiciary, their cases have been able to be handled through that. And also, we also have court users committees where our children officers present cases where children have been in conflict with the law, and those cases are discussed there and their issues are handled with speed. Thank you.
Yes. So for adults, I'm going to start with Zachary, and then Zahara, your hand has been up for a while. So Zachary, please ask your question.
Thank you.
Then Clara.
Thank you. Just
go on.
Okay. Just to put up on what Clara said about cases of children, the way they are being handled in our judicial system. I wanted to appeal as the Department of Children's Services and agents who are advocating for child rights that we do some changes, some reforms in our constitution, so that cases like defilement are done with speed to avoid kangaroo courts to intervene, and you find that children, they lose such cases. Thank you.
Thank you, Zachary. Zahara? Zahara?
Hi.
Hi, go on with your question.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. We really appreciate this very important day. We thank the government of Kenya for organizing the celebrations online. For me, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank the government of Kenya for the inclusion of refugee children in the government institution. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Zahara. Clara? 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 Okay, Tracy, you remembered your question. Just 1 minute, Tracy. Tracy, just 1 minute. Tracy.
Jamie. Hello?
Hello? Yeah, go ahead. They have questions they can do. We have to look at the institutions. Yes, go on.
I wanted to ask.
Yes?
I wanted to ask the Chief Justice if, like, there are kids who are not aware of justice, is there any way they can help them?
I'm sure the Bwana Director is going to answer that question. I can see you, a number of you. Anyone else have a question inside there? Anyone else?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, my name is Maureen. My question is it good to mix children and adults in the same cell? And you can find that sometimes children are being mistreated by the adults. I'm from Dagoretti Girls.
Okay. Another one, is anybody there from Dagoretti Girls who wants to ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, just give me a minute. I need to blind the camera. Yeah. Okay. The next one.
My name is Lydia.
Go on. It's okay. It's okay. Go on. Yes.
Is it true when you are going to the court and you want to ask a question and police put your hands down?
Okay, sijakusikia, hebu uliza tena.
Ni vizuri, inakwanga vizuri ukienda kwa koti, ukiuliza swali ukiinua mikono juu na shukishwa chini.
Bwana Director atajibu hiyo swali. Yuko mwingine iko na swali? Okay.
My name is Regina Yuma.
Okay, Regina, speak haraka, 30 seconds.
Melvina Yuma.
Yes, go on, go endelea, ongea.
Kwa nini George hapendi maombi?
Sawa. Bwana Director ajibu hiyo maswali.
Zachary asked it's a suggestion on handling of defilement cases with speed to avoid kangaroo court. I want to confirm to Zachary that in the rest of honor speech, we mentioned that the country is now developing a new statute on children, and that has been captured there to make that area a child-friendly for children to be able to report and their cases handled with speed. For Sahara, thanks for complimenting the work of the government for incorporating the refugee children in our institutions. Indeed, it is true. We keep them in our Thika Rescue Center, which is run by the Department of Children's Services. And this is out of a strong collaboration with the UNICEF and other UN agencies dealing with the refugees, where we have those children there specifically to be able to sort their cases and be able to repatriate them back to their countries. Tracy from Kisumu, this is the same question that we don't have somebody here from judiciary, but through the National Council for Administration of Justice, that is why we go throughout the country to listen to the issues of children. And I can confirm to you that we have been going around the country. We call it service weeks, where cases dealing with children are handled at that particular level and dispensed of with. So this is one area in which the judiciary has given a chance for children so that their cases are handled very fast. For Maureen, we're asking whether it is right for adults to be mixed with children in the police cells. It is not right. And we are working very closely with the police department. And I mentioned here in my opening remarks that we have child protection units, which are in most police stations. And the reason why, as a department, we are pushing forward for that child protection centers to be in the police cells is exactly to be able to handle children cases separate from adults, so that the children are kept in a more child-friendly manner. And we are in discussion with the police department that, if possible, they should be in all the police stations in the country. But where they are already, we can see a lot of changes in the way children are being handled in those police stations separately from adults. Lydia, this is an area which I'll pick it up with the court users committees on why children, when they want to ask a question in court, are told to shut up. This is an area, there's something that I want to confirm to you that will pick it up with the necessary court users committees in judiciary. I didn't get exactly what Regina was asking.
I think it was like the judge does not like prayers, so it's like praying during the court season.
The court season.
Yeah.
I'm not authority to answer on that. Yeah.
Okay, Bwana Director, I'm being told there are children who are watching on YouTube and they have asked a few questions. I'll just sample a few.
Okay.
And then there are so many of them.
Just pick one or three, please.
So they are asking about the gender desk. And I think it's the CPUs and the child protection units at police station. When can they be accessible and why are they not accessible? And then we have, that is the same one. This is, I think this one should go to the judiciary. What should you do when the justice systems lagger? The justice administrating process is so slow. So that's a question. And then, that is on participation. I think they were asking earlier when they had not seen that we had children in the webinar. They were asking where are children, but I think those are the big ones. There are many of them, but I think those are the big ones.
Actually, on the gender desk, that is what we call the child protection unit in the police stations. And it is being handled by officers of the police force that the Department of Children's Services has trained to be child-friendly, such that they are never in police uniform, but they are in civilian, and they are able to handle issues of children in a more child-friendly manner. That is why we call them child protection units. They can be accessed anytime. It's just like you can access police station 24 hours. This is the same way it is being accessed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the opportunity to listen to our ministry's position on children. And we hope that our children will be getting full justice as time goes on. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us, and we really do appreciate for you staying, all of you. The ones who are watching on YouTube, you are doing such an amazing conversation that is going on there. Those who are watching on Facebook, we really, really do appreciate the conversation. So join us the whole week for this conversation, and I'm sure, thank you so much, Bwana Director, Bwana CEO, Madam Chair. We really do appreciate you having this conversation, and God bless all of you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you, guys.
So bye.
Bye.
200 people.
Jenny.
Yes, I'm here. I'm
going to
here.
share the speech. Are you going to
You
share
got,
this
got
speech?
what's up, guys? Don't bring politics on Zoom.
Jenny.
Yeah?
We are requesting you share the speech kindly.
Sorry?
To share the speech. To share the speech.
Okay, yes, we will. They will share their speech. They will share their speech. Sorry, guys. They had to go. I can see all your hands up. If you're a child, I had said you write child when you're registering. If you're not writing a hand, I'm so sorry. We have a chance on 13th again. We're going to have hopefully more people. Thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate.
Welcome, Jenny. Bye.
Bye.
Because I did not register as a child. You put your name and then
you put the name of the child there.